Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is the Black Manga Critic. We out here, right? Manga and music stream number 3. All right, this is the like a part 3, whatever you want to call it. I call it part 3 in the title, but y'all know what I mean. Okay, it's the manga and music stream, third iteration, third part, number 3, whatever. Okay, so if y'all been here before, y'all know the deal. I'm gonna be listening to some music. Okay, I wish I could play the music, but I can't because copyright and all that. Music is like probably the most heavily copyrighted stuff like on YouTube, I believe. Just on the internet, I think in general. So I don't mess with that at all. I try not to do that. I like at all. I don't. I just don't. Okay, but y'all know you will know what I am listening to because I will talk about it. I will say that hey, this is what I'm putting on. You know, I'm gonna react, right? I love dancing. I love music. Like these two things are very important to me. So you know, I'm gonna be moving. I'm gonna be doing all that. It's gonna be great. Okay. I also take suggestions. So if there's like a song or an album or something like that that you want me to check out that I might not have listened to, or even if I've listened to it already, like I might just put it on just to be like, you know, just to like have that nostalgia and listen to it again or whatever. Okay. So that's really how it goes. I mean, also like we talk about manga. We just shoot the breeze. We talk about music. We talk about manga. We hype that stuff up, or we just like boo 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 it down. Like if it is if it deserves boo boo. Okay. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just kind of set up Spotify, right? I use Spotify. At some point I'll probably use iTunes too, but I ain't got the money like that right now. Okay. Like I don't got like that. I got, you know, one music like, you know, service, like we write music provider, like just right now. That's it. I ain't got money for like 4 or 5, none of that. Okay. I'm just gonna turn on Spotify right now, you know, we're chilling. And all right. And I'm just gonna, you know, put on something. I don't know what I'm gonna put on, but I'll pick something. Okay. Gonna put on. I really like. It's one of my favorite albums. One of my favorite albums is Game Theory. Okay, Game Theory by The Roots. It's one of my favorite albums. I love this album. Like, it's just good. The rest is just like great. They dope. But Game Theory is really good. I could put on Do You Want More? Do You Want More is like old school Roots and is really, really, really good. All right. But it's also kind of like, it's like a little too like just, it's too chill. It's too chill. Like I'll just get lost in it and I forget what I'll be talking about. Like it's like that kind of album. You know what I mean? It's just it's very good. All right. But it's like, there's some albums where you just be like, you just be getting lost in it and you just get too lost in it. And you can't like kind of focus. You know, I kind of need to focus right now. I might put it on later. All right. I put it on later. All right. Some of these tracks, Distortion and Static. All right. Mellow and Man is dope. All right. Do You Want More? Essay with Man, like, oh, that's one of my favorite tracks on there. Okay. Just dope stuff. All right. So I put it on after the fact. But right now I'm going with Game Theory because Game Theory is just dope. I love me some Game Theory. All right. Headphones on. Get the headphones on. All right. Usually I kind of push one of them a little bit forward so I can hear if like my fiance needs something or whatever. You know what I mean? Just gotta do that. All right. All right. So let's go. We in here. All right. We got false media on. False media is dope. All right. Come on. Nah, it's cool. I'm gonna do. Don't worry about it, man. I'm always doing these. I'm pretty much gonna do these like every weekend. Just because like it helps me just kind of like decompress, chill, talk about like just whatever, you know what I mean? But mainly manga and music. But if it shifts to something else, then it shifts to something else. You know what I mean? Like it's not a big deal. Right? It's kind of a chill stream, sort of like, you know, it's kind of the streams that like Braga will do, Laz, you know, stuff like that. Dustin at times. Okay. So I got False Media on by The Roots. Okay. Y'all gotta check that album out if you haven't. It's dope. Yo. So we gotta talk about, we're gonna start, so we already got the music on, but we gotta start talking about some manga. I'm not gonna get to Battle Angel Alita yet because like I just did that stream. I'm gonna get to it at some point and talk about it and why I really like the first three chapters and all that, and we're gonna discuss that. And I'm gonna say like, yo, like y'all should read it. Like I'm gonna hype it up. But we gotta get to just kind of talking about just the more recent stuff when it comes to like One Piece and just kind of like these opinions that are sort of out here that just they're just a little like it's not even so much like that they're like complete and utter garbage or anything like that. It's like there's something about them that just rubs me the wrong way a little bit. You know, it's not like, oh, this is gonna ruin my whole week because somebody said this thing or somebody had this opinion about One Piece, or something like that. All right, it's more like I saw it something like maybe a couple hours ago, or something like that. And I was like, I don't really understand some of this stuff. Okay. When we talk about One Piece, one thing I think gets very I don't even like the word like overrated because like I don't like that. But I think what gets sort of put on like the spotlight about like sort of One Piece and like how it does this like amazing like work in this regard is like this idea of like foreshadowing. We got to talk about that because foreshadowing is to me one of like the most like basic kind of literary elements that a writer can sort of like employ in certain ways, right? It's not like to me, it's not particularly hard to foreshadow something, all right? But people make it out to seem like, yo, the way that Oda inserted this hint in this one part of the story, and it led to this amazing thing in another part of the story, that was amazing foreshadowing. And like that, it just bothers me because it's like, this is not something that's particularly difficult to do, right? Like it's not. What is difficult, I think, at times, is creating some sort of plot event in a certain instance of the story that is interesting, right? To like like a large number of fans and a group or fan base or whatever. That's hard, I think, depending on like the genre and all that stuff and what you've been doing and all that. Especially if you've been doing it for a long time. Okay. So one thing that I do credit Oda with is being able to sort of like hype fans up and hype the One Piece fan base up in certain instances. He can do that. He does that. I think he does that well, right? But foreshadowing is not particularly difficult. I think people like they really put this thing up on a pedestal, and I'm like, no. All right, no. That is not particularly hard, y'all. It's like, especially when you have a sort of long-running sort of series, and you can just say, here, I'll put this like, you know, bit here. And then I don't even have to necessarily think about it until like years later, literally years later. Like writers wish they could do that. Novelists wish they could do that. They wish they could be like, you know what? Right? Especially like if they've written one book and they only written that one book and it's not like a series or something like that. Writers wish they could do that, right? Certain novelists wish they could have years, maybe a decade to do that, right? Some people would be like, Oda mentioned Lola in Thriller Bark, and she mentioned that her mother's a big pirate. That's amazing foreshadowing. I'm like, no, that's just regular old foreshadowing. Like, that's not like particularly impressive, right? Because Oda has literally had years and years to plan that out to make some sort of like connection in that way. And it's not even like a particularly like super impressive connection, right? It's not super impressive. It's not. It's really not. I don't like, I'm trying to sort of understand like what about it is like incredibly impressive, right? It's not the foreshadowing itself to me, like that's impressive. All right, okay. I don't think any part of it is even like particularly impressive to be like, oh, well, my mom is a big part. And then later on, we learned that like Lola's mom is Big Mom. I'm like, yo, that's just what Oda did. He just did that. Okay. I'm not impressed by that. And people were like, we have these theories. We think that Lola's mom is Big Mom. You could have figured that out very quickly, right? You could have figured that out really quickly. I'm talking about foreshadowing generally, right? It's not a super impressive thing to do. Okay, I don't even necessarily think that Oda does that consistently, like amazingly. All right, necessarily. I don't really think that. I'm not saying he's never done it, but I think that like too often people put like foreshadowing as like one of the biggest things that's like amazing about One Piece, and I'm like, there are some other things that are just far better than that, and I think that Oda does far better. Right? Foreshadowing is not something that like, I'm not looking at somebody's text or piece of literature or whatever. I'm like, yo, the foreshadowing though, that's like top two foreshadow. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I don't think I've ever done that. You know what I mean? And especially because it's like, this is something that like is just a basic thing with stories. It's a basic thing. Okay. In a lot of ways, what foreshadowing sort of allows you to do, especially if you're writing a long running like manga series, and I want to focus on that, or even like a long running like book series, right? It allows you to sort of say, okay, I'm going to set this here, and then I'm going to give myself time to figure out where I'm going to place this bit within the story, and where I'm going to reintroduce this bit that I sort of set around here. It gives you time, right? It's kind of like saying, oh, okay, I got a cushion. That a lot of the times that's what's kind of going on there. Okay, so it's not like it's not particularly impressive, at least not to me. It's not like, wow, this is amazing. But there are a lot of people that really champion that, and in some ways, I'm just like, I don't understand why. I can understand championing like a particular plot point, right, or right, and a certain narrative event that is really interesting in that point in time, within the sort of like plot. That's cool, right? But like, foreshadowing is not the thing I'd prop up on a pedestal. I wouldn't do it. And if anything, to me, it's sort of like it does a disservice to like why One Piece is great to people as a manga. I think it's just like it doesn't make any sense for me to prop that up. Right? If you probably like hype, One Piece definitely has a lot of hype moments. One Piece definitely has a lot of tearjerker moments. One Piece definitely has a lot of instances that I think are great in terms of like geopolitics. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like foreshadowing, that's not the thing. That's not the thing. No. But people just constantly do that. And it's like, it's not a particularly difficult thing to do. Okay. Now, what I will say is that I have been spoiled just for the one thing. I have been spoiled. I know about Kaido. I know. Okay. I would say that's probably the one instance where I thought, you know what? That's not bad. Right? Where I was like, this is an interest. Like, I think that's pretty well done. Right? Where it's like, oh, okay, we see what's going on with Kaido. Right? And I don't know who, pay everybody. Sunset everybody. Right? I mean, when you had like who spoiled it? Everybody. All right. It's like nearly impossible to like be on Twitter, be on YouTube, and be a YouTuber and be like someone that's like, on Twitter frequently and not see like every single person tweeting the same panel. Right? So like that was gonna happen. But the rest of the chapter, I have no idea what happened in the rest of the chapter. I don't know. Right? So what I will say about that, I think that's one instance where Oda did a decent job with like the sort of like foreshadowing and the representation and and the connections that are happening there. I think that's interesting. At one point, one of my theories, I call it a theory, but it's not really a theory. This is just me sort of being like, well, this is like very clearly going to happen because like this is how like stories generally kind of work in a way, right? If you see something that is that seemingly is like placed there for whatever, like for like some random like arbitrary reason, usually you can think like, okay, that's probably important later on, and you might have to just wait until it's important at a particular instance. Right, and you're gonna have to wait to find out, right? That's generally how like sort of foreshadowing works, okay? In a lot of ways, you get this little bit, and you're like, either it's very clear, like the relationship of like sort of that foreshadowing bit is clear to like sort of to you in terms of like how it's connected to the rest of the story and the world. But it might not necessarily be clear like in terms of like the importance of it until like later. You're like, oh, okay, like this is real clearly a foreshadowing. But oftentimes foreshadowing is very clear, right? One thing that I thought was clear, very clear, was that Momonosuke's Momonosuke having a dragon, like an artificial dragon devil fruit. That was like clear foreshadowing. I was like, why does this little boy have a dragon artificial devil fruit? When you saw that, you had to be like, okay, this is important. This is going to be important later on. This boy is more than meets the eye. You have to know that. If you look at that and you're like, oh, this is whatever. A dragon, though? Maybe if he was like a otter or a robin, something like that, then I'd be like, all right, whatever. I'm going to ignore that. But a dragon? For me, I was like, okay. Once I understood that Momonosuke was important and I understood his place, then I was like, oh, okay. Either Kaido or Orochi had a mythical zone fruit that was a dragon. Either one of those two. That was my thing. From jump, I was like, it's one of those two. From jump, I was like, one of those two. Why? Because it's very clear. Like there's like that. Again, this is what happens when you set up sort of parallel, right? And you set up like that sort of dichotomy, right? And this happens in literature all the time, right? There's an individual, and I wrote this. I remember I was talking about this, I think, on like Joy Bush channel or something, and I commented on it or whatever. And I was like, for me, I was leaning towards Orochi because I was like, I don't know, if Kaido has a dragon, it'd be kind of weird. But I was basically like, Momo is right. He's the true leader, but he's got an artificial dragon fruit. Okay. And then I said, okay, the Shogun, okay, and maybe Kaido will have them. And I thought it was probably the Shogun, but one of those two would have an actual mythical zone fruit that's like the real dragon fruit, but is a false leader. That's like a basic thing. So that's what I was thinking way back. The second under the Momonosuke was like the true leader. I was like, okay, I see what Oda's trying to do here. I immediately understood that. So I was waiting for this dragon devil fruit to like be revealed, and I also was thinking like, hey, a dragon is like a serpent, so you know, Orochi, and like that's what I was thinking. That was the connection that I was making, right? So I thought it was going to be Orochi more likely because of his name and what was going on. But this is like one of those things where it's like, okay, it ain't that dude who would more obviously have the fruit. It's the other dude who you wouldn't necessarily think has the fruit. But I knew it was going to be one of those people. But I thought more likely it was going to be Orochi. Okay. That's what I was thinking. But this is not something that I think is like particularly like, whoa, that's an amazing theory. Like, I'm going to make a video about it. And like, no, this is just like connecting the dots. Especially, again, when you see something, and this is kind of how foreshadowing works, right? When you see something that's just kind of like appears and you're like, really? What's going on? Like, why is this here? Why does this little boy have a dragon devil fruit? All right, a dragon devil fruit? What? When you see something like that, obviously you're gonna question it. You know that dragons are extremely important in Asian mythology, especially Chinese mythology, right? You know about its importance. So immediately you go, okay, Momonosuke is important. You don't necessarily know how, but you know at some level he is important. You know, you don't necessarily maybe go to like he's definitely the leader, but maybe he's related to someone or whatever that is a leader. So you do that. You just do that kind of like work, right? You do that sort of foreshadowing work. And this is like kids do this work. I could show that to like 5th graders and they'd be like, oh, that's probably gonna be important, right? Literally. So that's why like whenever people sort of like, you know, pat themselves on the back and they're like, yo, I called that. I'm like, bro, like I have 5th grade students that could have called that. Stop patting yourself on the back. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. Okay, to pat yourself on the back for guessing like something that like again like 5th graders literally could guess. Okay, this is like 5th grade figurative language skills. All right, stop patting yourself on the back. Now, this is not to say you cannot be hyped. Of course you could be hyped. Of course you could be like, yo, this is dope. This is cool. Right? When it comes to that, like, I think this is cool. I think this is dope. This made me happy. Blah, 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 blah. Yo, do that. Okay, but like again, the pats on the back, like, yo, I call that theory. Ah, ha, 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 ha. I'm like, bruh, again, 5th grade figurative language skills. Quite literally. All right. That's what's going on there. So don't do that. All right. And I think like it's just weird. Why is it that foreshadowing is the thing that's like propped up when literally most battle shonen manga do that at some level? I think what people sort of again like really sort of like spotlight is this idea that's like, oh, this is super long. You know, he mentioned this thing over here. Now this thing that's over here. That's all the way down over here. Is related to this thing also all the way over here. And I'm like, that's not super impressive. Again, it's not super impressive. Okay. Now, if you did something, let's say like 20th Century Boys, and you're making these connections like throughout, and it's just like really dope to see, that's different. That's different, right? Like a jigsaw puzzle sort of plot that's very, very well done in like a sort of condensed kind of version, right? Because 20th Century Boys is not nearly as long as One Piece, but it does the jigsaw puzzle plot extremely well. Okay, One Piece is sort of like, it's not that it isn't like a super garbage job by any means, but it's just like, it's not something that I'd be like, yo, look at One Piece, it does this so well. I still have absolutely no idea what the One Piece is. I have no clue. Okay, none. All right. And to me, like at this point, after like, I don't know how many chapters, I'm like, I think a point, in some ways people are like, you know, the point of One Piece is not One Piece. And I'm like, yo, the point of One Piece is One Piece. I'm sorry. Stop that. Stop that. Like, that's like a crucial part of why people are reading. Okay. Come on. Stop it. Some people out here, man, I don't care about the One Piece. I'm like, yeah, you care about the One Piece. Okay. Now, for me, I've lost interest in that. You know what I mean? Like I've just completely lost interest in what the One Piece is. I don't care. I don't. I'm not interested in it anymore. Why? Because the story is just, for me, the story is like, it's too long to have like this one thing be sort of like, oh, we got to figure out what the One Piece is. I don't care about it anymore. Right. And I think in some ways that's the point. I think in some ways that's the point. But I think like, yo, so you're still sort of doing guesswork and trying to figure out what the One Piece is. Like, kudos to you. Seriously, shout out to you for like sticking with that. Because I can't do it. I got other stories to read. I got other things to be interested in. I got my life to worry about and enjoy and do all this. I got no time in my brain for the One Piece. I don't care. I don't care. It's not interesting at all. Right? It's all about the other stuff. The other stuff, like, it's supposed to be interesting, right? Because it's about the journey. This is what Hunter x Hunter, right? This is what Jing was talking about. Okay? You start off the story worrying about the One Piece and thinking about what the One Piece is and wondering if Luffy's going to find it, blah, blah, blah. And you know that Luffy's going to find it. Come on. Okay? Right? Like, the pre-time skip, pre-New World, fire. Great content. Post-time skip, it ain't hitting like that. And there's some good stuff, but it's not the same. Not. Okay? That's why, like, for me, like, I consistently take, like, breaks from One Piece because I'm like, I'm not really invested in it right now. I don't really want to live react to it. I'm not going to put out, like, some fake energy. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. So, yeah, I'll react to 920, but I'll probably drop it right after. Right? Because it's like I had to catch up for New York City Comic Con, didn't get to do the One Piece the One Piece conversation that I wanted to do, and so I'm like, that's the last time. Well, it's not the last time, but I'm definitely gonna wait till like LA to like catch up to One Piece in a certain way. I have no idea when I'm gonna stop it, but I'm gonna react to 920 because like I know people want me to react to 920 how I feel about it. I know that, so I think I'm going to do that, But after that, again, I'm just gonna drop it again. Like, you know, people will let me know when like a certain number of chapters have racked up again, and I'll read them. And I will. Okay, but for now, I'm just like, I'm gonna react to 921, not 920. I'm gonna react to 921. I'm gonna read it, see how I feel, and I'm gonna drop One Piece again, and then I'm gonna come back to it whenever I feel like. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. But like again, all y'all people that just keep patting yourselves on the back, like I put in all this work and da da da, and my theory was correct. I'm like, it's just weird because it's like this is not a lot. Like this is not something that like it's not particularly like impressive in certain ways. You know what I mean? It's just like stop. If you're having a good time with it, that's cool. But when you like do this whole like you puffed yourself up because like you got something right, it's like, dude, it's ridiculous. Okay? It's ridiculous. A little ridiculous. All right. So, generally, again, like that's kind of what I have to say about that. I think that was the one thing I really kind of wanted to focus on when it comes to like One Piece. You know what I mean? It's like shonen, like, yo, Michael, facts. Okay, Key, facts. All right. When you like the heart, facts, right? All the facts. It's just like this is not particularly impressive. All right. And especially when you're talking about a battle shonen, people keep telling me, oh, One Piece is definitely an adventure shonen. It's not bad. I'm like, One Piece is an adventure battle shonen. That's what it is. Like, right? Like it has battle shonen elements, it has adventure shonen elements. Why are we trying to make this like super intense distinction when it's very clear that One Piece is like a big part of One Piece is the battles? I'm sorry. If you're talking about the battles aren't that important, you're lying. You are lying to yourself and you're lying to people. Stop it. One Piece is very much so a battle shonen and it's an adventure shonen. It's both of those things. Why are you trying to hide that? I don't understand that. It's both. The battles are clearly vital to the popularity of One Piece. Saying anything else is just, to me, is ridiculous. You know what I mean? So, okay. And these are people that are like Zoro stands, Sanji stands. I'd be like, nah, the battles aren't as important as adventure. I'm like, stop it. Come on. Okay. So I think that's kind of just like where I'm going to stop in terms of like, talking about One Piece, because I talk about, every time I talk about One Piece, I always talk about this ain't it, da 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 da. All right. But I think the whole thing was sort of like Momo with what's going on with Momo and the thing with Kaido. I think that to me was like, okay, this is something that's set up, and I think it's not bad. Like I think like in terms of like what's going on in the writing, in terms of the sort of clash, in terms of its symbolism, that's cool. I think that's fine. I don't think it's like garbage or anything like that. I think it's cool. All right. And I want to see what happens there with that and with and again, there's a lot of stuff that's going on there. I think that's sort of good. There's a lot of potential for this sort of symbolism that's there and talking about the dichotomy that exists between like Momonosuke and Kaido. I like that. All right. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. All right. I said what I said. All right. Now we're gonna switch it up. I think we should switch it up because I've been talking about this One Piece thing for a while, probably like 20 minutes or something like that. Too long. All right. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna switch to we're gonna talk about music. All right. Because right now I had I still got Game Theory on, but I think what I'm gonna do is switch to a song that I really like. I mean, Game Theory is great, but I'm gonna go back to Do You Want More? Because Do You Want More is dope. Let's go to. Every time I listen to Do You Want More, I immediately go to SA1 Man, immediately, because that's it's just dope. It's just fire. Like SA1 Man, like that song, man. That's like early roots. That's just warms your heart, warms your heart. You know what I mean? That's like when you go out, you chilling, you having a good time with whoever it is that you're going out with. you know, maybe friends, significant other, you know, whatever. It's just good. It's just good vibes. All right. It's just good vibes. Okay. I love that. I love that. All right. This is Essay One Man. All right. Great track. So that's what I got on right now. All right. Check it out. The Roots. So if you talk, I guess we're gonna talk about music. One thing I think like I noticed on Twitter, today actually, and somebody like made a tweet something like that. They were like, oh, like, you know, there are a lot of people who don't like music nowadays or whatever. Like they don't like people are like saying like there's no good music out nowadays, you know. And they were like, yo, those people like are like ridiculous. And I totally agree. Right? Like when you're coming out here and you're talking about, oh, you know, I'm chilling here and I don't hear no music that I think is good and it's not quality and blah 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 blah. Right? And they'll base their one of my cats is just chewing a little too much. And they'll just base they'll base that idea on like the garbage that is that proliferates like Twitter, YouTube at times. You know what I mean? Like their feeds and stuff like that. And they'll see the garbage and they'll be like, that is like the representation of music today. I'm like, really? Like you were all loud and you made those points. You were big mad. You were doing all of this, all right, talking about, oh, the music is trash, and you watch maybe like 2 videos on Twitter, like a Vine or whatever you want to call it, you know what I mean, a snippet, and you were like, music these days is trash. Sorry. I watched the news today. Bad Barbie was on the news. Bad Bobby, all right, was on the news today, and I'm like, music today is trash. That's it. That's how I feel about it. No. It's just a ridiculous thing to say. It just bothers me, right? It's like people that are like, oh, you know, rap is dead. Rap is dead. There's no more rap. There's no more good rap. There's no more good R&B. There's no more good soul. There's no more good, you know, rock music. There's no more good, you know, whatever, right? And I'm like, you're not listening to enough music. It's either that, right? Either you're not listening to enough music, or you are extremely determined to uplift either your own particular era or just a general particular era of music, right? And just try to destroy and just grind to dust like contemporary like music. That's what you want to do, all right? It's one of those two, all right? And I like that just bothers me because it's like, yo, let people suggest music to you. This is one thing that I think a lot of people don't allow people to do. And I think it's because like I was kind of like that. Like I was like, I'm not gonna let that person suggest music to me. Their music taste is whack. And I think I was saying this like around 2021 or something like that. I was like, nah, I'm gonna pick what I'm gonna pick. Then after a little bit, I was like, you know what? I'm listening to the same stuff. I gotta diversify. All right, I gotta diversify my portfolio. That's what I was doing. After a while, I was like, all right, so I got to do that. And I got to like take suggestions, and I took suggestions. And again, like at the same time, like this was like just a gradual transformation of like myself and learning more about people, and why I was like a problem, for such a long time, and just being better, trying to be a better person and trying to be more open, trying to be a better ally and all these things. And like, I would say I could like track my taste in music and that sort of opening up and me sort of shifting as a person. I could see that. You know what I mean? I think there are a lot of people who could not be vocal about their love of Adele. A lot of dudes were like, I'm not saying nothing about my love of Adele. I'm not saying nothing. And they'd be like, oh, Adele whack. Adele whack. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, actually, I really, really, really like Adele. Like, Adele's a great artist. Like, all right, 25? 25 is album, okay? It's not as good as like 19 or 21, okay? 19 and 21 are dope albums. They're different in different ways, right? Like 19 is clearly like, okay, this is a debut album. Like she doesn't have like the same kind of backing behind her to me, in terms of like the production and all of that stuff. And then when you listen to 21, you're like, oh, she hit it now. She hit the big time now. The production is on point. All this, you hear the difference, right? So 21 is just like a great album. 19 is, to me, like, I think I like 19 more than I like 21, but I think that's just because like I like albums that are sort of like that are a little bit more low-key in some ways, right? They're not as like bombastic. I think 21 is like a more bombastic album than 19 is. All right, in a lot of ways. And again, I just really like 19. 19 is, to me, I enjoy it more than I'll enjoy 21. But 21 is dope. Don't get me wrong. But it's just like I enjoy 19 just because I like albums that tend to not be as like bombastic in some ways and just kind of like showcase a particular artist's talent, like a particular talent of theirs. And like, of course, with Adele, singing. So 19 to me really portrays like her sort of singing ability and her ability to just like captivate people by just like sort of singing to like a sort of simple like tune or instrumental, like whatever. All right. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, like, it's just ridiculous. Yo, Mike, facts. Bad Barbie needs to chill. She really does. I don't know what she's doing, but it's not it. But again, I think, again, we understand that like that's clearly like a fiscal move, right? That's like she's trying to make money. That's what's going on. Ooh, I'm gonna put that on. Put it on right now. All right. I'm gonna look that up right now. Ella Mai. Let's do this. You know me. I love me some R&B. Woo, God. You know me. All right, she's got a bunch of EPs, but I'm listening to the album first because like that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. I also listened to hers album. I've been listening to that a lot. Hers debut album. That came out like a while ago. I want to say it came out in like 2017 or something like that. But yo, hers album, it's like entitled like H.E.R. And it's like it's just right up my alley. It's just chill vibes. She just kind of sing, like you can hear like in her voice, she's just like eyes closed, singing about various things, love, sex, whatever. It's just good. I be playing it a lot. Like when I go to school for like my seminars and like my master's of arts and teaching program and like those classes, like I'll be playing her when I'm like walking up to campus and like I get off the bus, whatever. I'll immediately put on her. I'm like, yeah, vibes, man, because I just want to be in a good like space like before I go into the classroom, you know. And like it's just great stuff. Just great stuff. So I'm gonna put on Ella Mai's album. Let's do that. Oh, Ella Mai, is she a UK artist? Yo, UK R&B artists? Yo, they be fire. UK R&B artists, they be on point. All right. Ray Black, Georgia Smith. Yo, they be on point, man. They be on point. Okay? You can't do that. Woo! Let's go. I love me that R&B, man. Come on. Anybody that really knows me knows I love me some R&B. Come on, man. Come on. This, that. Woo! This, that. Y'all check out Ella Mai. Right? Again, when you hear for the manga music streams, we talking about manga, but then we also gonna be talking about music. And it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna talk about manga and like, you know, not do that justice, you know, and then talk about music and do it justice. No, we're doing both justice. All right, and we switch. And that's just how it goes. So if you in the chat, you're chilling, Put on the music. If you have the ability to do that, and you listen to what I'm listening to, that's the best way to enjoy the stream. All right. Take out the phone or the laptop or whatever, iPad, whatever it is, and you just pull up. All right. Pull up the music. This is I will be listening to this on the bus, on the train. I'm gonna be listening to this while I'm doing like cleaning. Come on, man. That's why it's always weird when people tell me they don't listen to R&B, man. When they're like, I never listen to R&B. It's not even that I'm like, I don't go like, oh, you trash because you don't listen to R&B, right? It's more like I just feel bad because I'm like, yo, like you're missing out on so much dope music. Like you're missing out on the greatness that is R&B, y'all. Ooh. Okay, so she grew up in the States. Okay. You know what I mean? But it's like, yo, Jungle by her is dope. Jungle's a dope track. The first like four or five tracks of her debut album, fire. Right? Really, really good. Really good. But yo, Erykah Badu, let's go. Come on, man. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know, and again, I also like I would say I'm a stan of Erykah Badu because like I feel like sometimes like she'd be on some like some extra stuff that's like a little like pompous in some ways, which is like, oh, like I figured out the secrets to life and astral plane. I'm like, okay, like if that's how you live in and you want to live like that and that's what you want to do, all right. But like, don't be trying to like convert people to that and try to like no. Your music is dope though, and and I think generally like she tries to do like certain things well and everything, and it's cool. But like sometimes she be doing a little bit too much in terms of like sort of saying like, yo, people should be doing that and they should be doing that. I'm like, we gotta be more critical about what you're talking about, Erykah. Okay? Of Erykah. All right. But I don't think by any means she's like a terrible person or anything like that. She works with pretty dope artists. So I love her music though. Y'all know me, I love that. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna put her on at some point. This is good though. Hey. This is good stuff, man. And look, always just like suggest things. I'm always gonna turn it on. I'm gonna listen to it. If I haven't listened to something, then I haven't listened to something. I think a lot of people sometimes like will be like, yeah, I'll listen to that. Of course, I listen to that. And I'm like, yo, if I haven't listened to something, then I haven't listened to something. That means that I'm gonna go and listen to it so that I can experience it, right? And I understand where it comes from, but I used to do that. I used to be like, yo, I listen to that. It was cool. But then like it might be something that I actually don't like, and then I'm throwing like my ridiculous opinion out there that has no like basis, So I try not to do that anymore. I just be like, yo, I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm gonna go check it out, But man, like let's say like with like Mac Miller's like Swimming, like I hadn't listened to Swimming. And I've been listening to that more recently, and that's a dope album. Like, and rest in peace, Mac Miller. Like I listened to that. The first time I listened to it, I legit started like tearing up because I was like, wow, like, and I remember Sage on one of Dustin's streams talking about like her experience listening to Mac Miller's album and talking about her own experiences with like like substance abuse and like and self-medication and well, more specifically self-medication. I don't know if she talked about substance abuse. I don't think she mentioned that, but like that's like clearly what like Mac was going through. All right, so let me make that separation because I don't want to like say something that someone else did not say. But she definitely talked about like self-medication and listening to Mac's album and connecting with that in a certain way and relating to it. So I thought about that and I was like, wow, like I get it. Like I could see it. I almost immediately like understood it, and I just like kind of like let the album kind of like wash over me a bit, and it's like I let myself like be immersed in it, and it's just great. Mac Miller's Swimming is something that I think I'll say everybody should listen to. And I think one thing that I really sort of appreciated was like I was watching this one other interview um, that included Mac Miller. This is like the one time like Peter Rosenberg was like not annoying, okay? And he's with a few people that really knew Mac Miller, and they were talking about like Mac just being like a lover of music. Like he loved music and he loved like producing music and like really working at it and being on the grind. And there'd be like, let's say like parties going on at his house or whatever, and everybody would be outside doing all the stuff. And like he might come out to a party, he might come out to the party for like a couple of minutes, chill people, and then he go right back to the studio and like work on the music and have people listen to his music and this was something that he like constantly did, and people were just so impressed with that. And I think that's sort of the thing. Like this is something that like I think before like you hear about certain artists, you don't know enough about them, and I think there's certain artists where I'm like, all right, you're like when you do these things, like no, like I'm not super concerned about like all this other stuff that you've done. I'm concerned about like all these like terrible things that you've done and like how you need to like stop doing that and all that. But like I think Mac Miller sort of always been like a just good vibe kind of guy. I think it was always clear that he was dealing with substance abuse, and self-medication and all that. So to me, it just like hit me because I think that was maybe like one of like the first like rappers for me where I was like, wow, like that guy just had like a great energy and he's gonna put positivity out in like a very like real way, and I don't know, it just really hit me. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna check out Umi, or I don't think it's Umi because but it's probably Umi. Let me see. But this is so good so far. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna listen to a few more songs. Oh, I know I gotta play Gut. I'm gonna skip all the way to Gut Feeling because LMI and her. Woo! I listened to that great piano intro. Let's go. And there's one with John Legend. I gotta listen to that too. Come on. All right, so I'm gonna pull that up while I'm listening to this. All right, the song I'm listening to now is "Gut Feeling" featuring her. All right, by LMI. So let me search for me. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay, here she go. Um. Okay, so there's like one that's called Interlude, and it's like 4 songs on that. So I probably listen to that. But that stuff with like Mac Miller, that really like that hit me, and I was like, man, like and it's kind of stuff like that, like you don't want those, like you don't want like an individual's death to like be like the inspiration for like trying to be a better everything and being like happier and trying to work on you in a really productive way. But it's like that was like, man, because like I also like deal with like depression, and it's rough when it hits you, it hits you, and it's so difficult to just like move, you know what I mean, and really like get started on doing the work that you have to do to get yourself like moving forward, so man, ugh. But this song is good. I like this. Alma featuring her. Really good, really good. All right. And again, for me, like music is crucial. Music is crucial for me in my life. Like, cause like when I was young, like I didn't have like Spotify. I didn't have the money to like really get like a music service and pay for that monthly or anything like that. So a lot of my music that I was listening to was like YouTube. And I think what YouTube sort of does, like at least for me, what it did is I would like listen to the same sort of artists, and I'd wait for them to put out like new content. But I think, now with like Spotify and like, and all these other things like, but particularly Spotify, I can sort of say, oh, hey, I'm gonna check out this artist. Like I'm gonna check out who's being featured on this track, and I'm just gonna look her up, you know, or him up or them up, and that's what I do. And like I just listen to as much music as I possibly can, you know. The whole stuff with like Ariana Grande, like I mean, ooh, she's going through it. She's going through it right now. That's like I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Really, I wouldn't wish it on anybody. To like have like you know might like possibly be like you know who might possibly be like the love of your life like die, and then you know and then while you're in like and then you know while you're in like a relationship with someone else who you know rushed I guess maybe into that relationship and then break up with that person soon after, like that's like I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I would not wish that on anybody. That is hard. And I think like and some of like I mean I'm glad that like you know she has like so many fans that are supportive of her and everything like that. I think that's great. Um, you know, but there's so many people that are just utterly ridiculous. And those people that like you can like right very clearly are just immature, like children. A lot of them are children. A lot of them are like you know 17-year-olds that are like I just hit 17. I'm or either I feel like I'm an adult or I'm gonna be an adult soon. So all of a sudden, all this knowledge has been downloaded into my brain, and I can say whatever I want about. Da, da, da. I'm like, look. Do not stop. And it's always very clear. It's always very clear when you're dealing with like children. It's always very clear when you're dealing with children. Okay, just nonsense. All right, and it's consistent nonsense. I think that's how it like for me. That's one where I sort of know I'm always dealing with children, or I'm dealing with like just people who just have not grown up in a certain way, or they're not really developing and learning and listening and experiencing and doing all that work and doing the work. You know, you just know you're dealing with children. Certain people, like I see them, I'm like, that's a child. It's a child. That's what it is. All right. And that's it, right? And like, and it's not like, and I feel like there are people who are a certain age and they're like, yo, they've experienced certain things. They've kept their mind, themselves open. They listen, do all that stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like, and one thing, like, yeah, and then, you know, facts, Michael. And one thing is like, you're always learning. You're always like, you never get to a point, I don't think, where you're like, I've completed my like evolution, and like that doesn't happen. Okay, it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? You have to keep doing that work, all right? Because that's where the good stuff. That's where the good stuff is. That's where you your eyes just kind of continue to be more open, and you listen to more things, and you experience more things, and you integrate more things into who you are. And it's just a dope journey. Let me play the John Legend trap. No, not trap. Track. All right. Woo, that's a good beginning. Anytime I hear a beginning like that, everything featuring John Legend, yo. Woo. Anytime I hear a beginning like that, you know it's gonna be heat. All right. Mm. 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 That's that good. I love it. Okay. Yeah, she going in right now. She going in right now. I'm gonna get into Alita. I'm gonna get into it in like maybe like 2 minutes, something like that. So the song is playing right now. Everything featuring John Legend by LMI. Okay, dope. I just I love this. I love this music. This music is so good. It's just hits you so good. All right. Um, Man, I love a lot of genres of music. Last stream I played Paramore. I love Paramore, man. Punk rock, earlier sort of rock, right? Like Queen. I would say I like the Beatles. Like I'm not like a super fan of the Beatles. That's not to say that like I think the Beatles are whack or anything like that. But it's just like I think because I never really like grew up with it and I didn't like play it heavy, I think the Beatles just aren't someone that I listen to a lot. But I can appreciate what they've done and like certain songs, like I can appreciate that. But I think for me, like I just love like certain bands, like Queen is like, oh, they're so good, you know. And I actually used to listen to like a decent amount of country. I used to listen to a decent amount of country. My fiance is definitely way more versed in terms of like bluegrass. She loves bluegrass, and I like bluegrass too. Like I like bluegrass, but I think she's like much more of a fan of bluegrass than I am. And that's not to say that I don't love it or anything like that, but I think she's just more sort of knowledgeable on that, you know. So like if I have like if I have to like find some bluegrass or something, I'll go to her and I'll ask about that. And like I've also got I also just like singers. Like I just like like I like pop music too, but I haven't listened to as much pop lately. But I would say that doesn't mean that I haven't listened to any pop. All right, like R&B, neo soul, rap, uh, any folk, um, pop punk, punk rock, whatever you can call it, country. Like I like a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? I like a lot of stuff. So I'm kind of always trying to switch it up. When it comes to listening to things. But man. And I think one thing that like I think there are a lot of people who listen to a lot of different like types of music. Like Dustin is someone like who listens to a lot of music. Like doesn't listen to a lot of music. Like he's not just like a rap head. Even though he is a rap head, but he listens to a lot of different types of music. And I think that's why like whenever I have like music convos, like it's very easy to talk with Dustin because like we're kind of on like that same like page where we like listen to a lot of music and we can talk about different types and we don't have to like just stick to rap or even R&B. Like we can switch like from rap to R&B to rock to maybe even country. You know what I mean? Like and like pop and like all these different types of um, sounds, and it's really cool. So let me switch. I'm gonna turn on Umi. So I got Umi on. She is apparently like a newer sort of artist. All right. UMI. All right, like water, I believe. I believe like water and what, like Japanese or something like that. I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah, like the sea, right, or something like that. So it's like okay, and like there's like at the beginning, like you can hear like the water, sort of like the background, like the running water. Like that's cool. I like that. Yeah, she's got a nice voice. Hmm. Okay, I like it so far. All right, let me get some water. So we're gonna talk about Battle Angel Alita. We're switching back to the manga. All right, we switching back to the manga. We started with manga. It's me talking about certain things that I think One Piece like, generally like it's like not like does, but it doesn't. It's not like it's something I like to be like to praise, right? It's like foreshadowing is like a thing. All right, foreshadowing is something that happens in stories, and I don't think like One Piece is necessarily like be like look at that foreshadowing, it was amazing. Like it's more like the event. Like maybe there might be an event that's amazing, but I don't think the foreshadowing itself is like wow. That, and I'll just talk about that and how I felt about it. Um, and then we switched to music, and also know a lot about music and a whole bunch of different things. Now we back to manga. Back to manga. We're talking about Battle Angel Alita, the first three chapters, Joe. The first three chapters. Once I'm done with this Umi thing, before I get to talking about Battle Angel Alita, once I'm done with Umi, I'm probably gonna switch to like I'm gonna switch it up a bit. So I'm gonna probably try to find like a rock, some punk rock that I haven't listened to in a while. You know what I mean? Um, let me do that now. I would like to listen to. I really like. Let me think. Who did I like? I liked oh man, I loved like anything that Fueled by Ramen came out with, like Fueled by Ramen, Decadence. Like I love like the same label, but they shift the names. But like I loved anything that they came out with. And then they like group, right? Like Panic at the Disco, Paramore, like Fall Out Boy, like that stuff. I loved the Cab. The Cab was like a group that I was like, you know what? I understand why like they don't have more sort of thing because like they kind of like stayed at where they were at. But I really loved like I just loved listening to the Cab. I really did. And let me see. Let me find the like albums. They probably come up with a whole bunch of stuff lately. No, looks like they haven't come up with a lot of stuff lately. Maybe they broke up. I don't know. I haven't. Maybe they did. Let's see. See all albums. Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, Symphony Soldier was like their last one, but I really liked Whisper War was very good. Symphony Soldier was cool. I'm gonna put on Risky Business was really good. Yeah, this is just such a like. This is like, oh, I just feel so high. Like, I feel so high school right now. Like, oh, I'm in high school. Like, when you put on music like that and you just rush back to like who you were like at a certain point. I love the Cab. You know what? You know I love the Cab, and I love anything that came out of Fueled by Ramen, aka Decadence, like because you could really dance to like that punk rock music. You could really dance to it. It wasn't just like, oh, maybe I can two step. It was like you could really dance to it. So right now, Risky Business, man. I don't love the album. I just love the album. All right. So let's get to Battle Angel later. Let's talk about it, yo. Let's talk about it. So I adore this manga. All right, let me pull it out right now. Yo. Battle Angel Later. All right, Volume 1, Deluxe Edition. What? Come on, man. This manga is dope. This manga is very good. Like, yo. Like, yo. All right. I'll say this. I feel like I think what I liked about it is that like at first, you know, it had the vibes of like this woman is like this, you know, kind of like object and like she's being utilized and like right for this guy's like, you know, hopes and dreams and blah blah. And it was like, but then right, it quickly like dealt with that idea, right? And it was like, okay, like right, like Ito was like, no, I was wrong. And right, and the thing is like, right, obviously, right, like you would hope that like a character like that would figure that out like immediately, and that didn't happen. And I think again, that's like a sort of lesson to people like, especially like men that are reading this and saying like, yo, it's like, yo, if this is how you are, if you're talking about like, oh, but you gotta be beautiful, and you gotta be this and you gotta be that, you gotta change that. You can't be doing that. All right. It's a lesson to y'all. Shift your thinking. Okay. So that's the kind of stuff that I think like I liked. And it happened, you know, it happened fairly quickly. Right. And what I like is that in some ways, like, right, he died, so he didn't get a chance to like really sort of like shift gears in terms of who he was and everything like that. And that again is another sort of lesson where it's like, yo, you gotta start now. You can't like be like, all right, you know, 2 years later, I'm gonna go do this. Like, you might die. You don't know that. You might die. You know, so you can't, you know, go around walking around being like, all right, I'm gonna change my ways in 2 years. And no. Like, women don't have like that luxury of like waiting for you to change your ways for in 2 years. They don't. You know what I mean? So it's like, get started. Get started. Otherwise, you might end up dead because you were a cyborg hunter. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, get started. Get started now. Started yesterday. Okay, and Alita is just great. I think like what I like is that the author doesn't waste time like uh making like Alita like learn certain things, and it's like snails like pace. It's like these things happen fairly quickly. All right, she's this self actualization that happens for like Alita, like it happens very quickly, and she gets to a place where she's like, "Hey, I want to do what I want to do. I want to hunt. I want to be a hunter. I want to be like this is what I want to do." All right, and I realized that in this other battle that like I could do that. You know, yeah, I mean, like I like science fiction is dope. I love Star Trek. I love if any of you have ever heard of Stargate SG-1, Stargate SG-1 is dope. All right, the movie is cool, but like the TV show, okay, and then there are like movies after it. Ah, great. Battlestar Galactica, I gotta start. I might start that with you. I might just start that with you, or I don't know. I might see if my fiance wants to start it together, and then like that's something that we'll do. But yo, Stargate, man, Stargate Atlantis. I didn't watch a lot of it. My brother watched way more because he was more into it when we were younger. Babylon 5 is very good. Babylon 5 is very good. But I also have to watch that again because I watched that when I was young too, and I remember some of it, but not enough. So I'm gonna rewatch Babylon 5 eventually, and I'm going to definitely like start Battlestar Galactica at some point. Hello, Mina. One of my cats. Hello. Okay. And yeah, so science fiction is dope. Like I love space operas. Like, oh DJ, what's good? What's good? And what's up? I don't know how to pronounce that. BNAG in base. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do there. I don't know, or I don't know what I'm supposed to do there. I don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce that. But what is up? What is up? I think, but again, like sort of like science fiction is dope. I love science fiction. My fiance has read a lot of science fiction. Her father's read a lot of science fiction, but I really like it. I like space operas are probably one of my favorite genres. And I know like I like anything that's like even close to a space opera, like is always great to me. You know what I mean? Firefly is dope. I haven't finished it yet, but I know it's like it just gets cut off, and it's like I'm still angry. I'm still angry about that. And my fiance and I have just been slowly watching it because we know like at some point we're not gonna have any more episodes and it's not gonna be concluded and we're gonna be annoyed and upset and angry and all of that. But Firefly is dope. I think it's worth it even if you know it's not gonna be finished like Firefly is worth it. It's worth it. It's really that good. It's really that good. And I think sci-fi is just like awesome. Sci-fi is just dope. I think everybody should. Ooh, okay. I'll definitely check out the comic then. So science fiction is just phenomenal. Okay, I love science fiction. Um, Trying to think. There were these. I can't remember the author. Maybe let me look it up. There are these great science fiction stories. Yeah, I think it was Robert. Maybe Robert. mm, was it Robert Sheckley? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, and it was okay. Like it was pretty good. Let me see. Was it the? It was like a collection. Yeah, like Robert Sheckley had like these books and like a collection of like stories, and I still have that. Like I still have that somewhere in this apartment. But I liked it. It was cool, and I also like I think there's some things that like I've heard about by Octavia Butler, but I gotta read like I gotta read like a lot more Octavia Butler, even though like she is great and dope and like just such a pioneer for science fiction. My fiance adores Octavia Butler. Um, she loves Neil Hopkinson, who is I think not as well known, but she loves Neil Hopkinson. Um, and I'm trying to think of who else. And those are just like science fiction sort of like writers. And there are some like fantasy writers. So like to me, like I kind of like I love fantasy and I love science fiction like stuff. So like one thing that I really want to read is like this is a sort of more recent artist, N.K. Jemisin, who won the Hugo Award, I believe, recently, and I want to really check out her stuff. And I believe like my fiance has checked out her stuff, and she really really loves it. So I want to look at that. So I think one thing I have to do next is like get back into reading like novels. You know what I mean? Like yeah, yeah, yeah. I really gotta get back to reading like novels. Like I've read some, but like most of them have always been to like books that I've reread for like teaching kids and stuff like that. But I really want to kind of get back into some of that stuff. And I will. I will. But Battle Angel Alita. A lot of it is just DJ. We've just been talking about like so I started off talking about One Piece and how like foreshadowing is just not like this amazing thing. It's like the foreshadowing itself is like kind of like whatever in a lot of ways, especially when it comes to like One Piece. It's more so about like if is there like a particular event that's interesting at like a set point in time within the story, right? And if that's the case, and that's cool. But when it comes to like foreshadowing, I'm like foreshadowing is like something that like is just it's a thing. Like it's a thing and it's utilized and that's fine. You know, but I don't think that's the thing that people should be like championing when it comes to like One Piece. That's always weird to me. It's like if foreshadowing is in One Piece is a thing that you like really like champion. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. Like it's weird to me. But then we sort of moved into just like talking about music and different types, and I've been listening to and I was listening to like a lot of like R&B, some LMI. Her LMI was Key put me onto LMI. Her I think Key also put me onto her in the last stream I believe, maybe even in the last stream I believe, and that was dope. And I've been listening to her like ever since, and like great stuff. So you know we've just been talking music. You know, and right now I'm listening to The Cab, which is like a sort of like punk rock, like power punk, whatever you want to call it, pop punk, I guess, band, and that's like a band that I really liked in like high school and like a little bit of like my first like freshman year in college. I listened to The Cab a lot, and I really liked them. Like I just really like them, you know. So that's kind of how I feel about that. Oh, Amadou. Yeah, Amadou. Shout out to you, Amadou. Amadou put me on to LMI. Key put me on to her. Great. All right. And Alita. So let's go back to Alita. All right. So I just started Battle Angel Alita. All right. I reacted to it, the first 3 chapters. Like blue flames. They need to like, are there like blue flames? Are there like blue flame emojis? With like, orange flames ain't enough. They're not enough. All right. Right now I'm listening to The Cab, that 70s song. Like I just really like The Cab from the album Whisper War, which is a cool, you know, it's a cool, it's just chill, like it's a dope, like, you know, kind of typical like power punk, like pop punk, like album, you know. And this manga is dope. Like the first 3 chapters, yo. Blue flames, man. We out here on that like Dobby stuff, all right? My hero stuff. That like blue flames. Azula, all right? Level blue flames. Okay? Just utterly ridiculous. And I'm like just like, wow. Again, one thing I really appreciate about Battle Angel Alita is it doesn't take long to get to tackling certain types of issues that a lot of like, to me, battle shonen manga like take way too long to deal with, or they never deal with it, and they just let like the woman like in their manga just rot from like the inside out, right? Or not only rot from the inside out, right? But they also have like, right? But they also have like everyone else from the outside just like totally deeming them like useless, and then we just move on with the story. And I'm like, nope, not gonna happen when the woman's a protagonist. Nope, 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 no. And Alita is dope. And what I love is that it doesn't take like 90 years for this like self-actualization, for this like innate like desire to do what she wants to do to manifest. It happens like very quickly, right? And the dude that right, Ito, right? Ito again also very quickly is like, yo, like I really messed up, right? And but so what happened? And he's done, right? And what I was sort of talking about was like, you like as like guys, right? Like and really people, but like I think specifically guys, like you can't wait, like can't be like, all right, I'm gonna get to changing my ways tomorrow. I'm gonna get to respecting women tomorrow. I'm gonna get to like being allies for like women like tomorrow, whatever. Nah, you gotta start like yesterday. You gotta start now. Like you gotta get on it. Otherwise, you might die tomorrow. You don't know. So you can't just be like, man, you know, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna wait. No. Okay, because Ito realized that he was messing up. Then he died like soon after. Right? And he didn't get to like do that work. Okay. So can't just be waiting around for that. All right. And I think like lately I haven't been listening to a lot of bands, but I need to. Like if you guys have like if any of you have suggestions, like if any of you have suggestions, let me know. Put me onto something. Put me onto some like, you know, more recent bands. I was listening to Donnie Trumpet, but that's probably because like, you know, Donnie Trumpet is very much like a Chance guy. He's like one of like Chance's sort of like, you know, that's like a Chicago like sort of crew, whatever. And like I listen to a lot of like people that have come out of like Chance's sort of camp and like Chance's sort of like circle, right? Like Saba, No Name, Shmino, you know what I mean? So Donnie Trumpet as well. So, you know, I'm trying to like listen to like more bands. I don't want to get back to like the other music that I sort of listen to. You know, when he was like, I'm not, right, yo, when the leader was like, I'm not your dresser dog, she was like, no, like, and then she's like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go register and be a hunter and I'm gonna do that thing. And I don't need your permission. Like, that was dope, right? Even though she was like, oh, I'm enamored with you because, like, you know, you brought me back to life and you created me, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So, really like that. And the art is dope. And I'll say this. One thing that I think people really underestimate is how difficult it is to draw that sort of art, like art that is very much like that has like, you know, like little like that has like cyborgs when cyborgs like break apart and there are parts and there are little bits and pieces and stuff like that. That is extremely like tedious. You know what I mean? Like that's just rough. And for me, it's always like shouts out to like assistants who like manga assistants, like who would just like putting in the work, right? Obviously the mangaka, but shouts out to the assistants. They put in the work when it comes to that stuff. You know what I mean? I remember reading Sandland. Sandland is a much lesser known manga by Akira Toriyama, right? And obviously we know who Toriyama is. You know, Dragon Ball and Dr. Slump and all that. And like one thing that he complained about in Sandland, and that it's like a short manga. It's like this big, it's very short. And it's decent. Like it's like, you know, if you're on a bus ride and you want to read something, you can check out Sandland. And it's cool. And he talked about like there was like a tank in Sandland that like the like sort of protagonist would like travel in. And he talked about he complained about having to draw the tank over and over and over and how like tedious it was and how annoying it was. And like that stuff it's just hard. It's just hard. It's much easier to draw like bigger, you know, more sort of like wider things. But you have to draw like the sort of minutia stuff. And you have to do that over and over. In a manga like this, like, oh, you know what I mean? It's very painstaking, especially if you're doing something weekly. Woo. Shout out to you. You gotta have a crew. You gotta have a crew. All right. Yeah, it would have done really well in Toonami, I think. really well. You know what I mean? It's just and it's just like this manga again does what I'm looking for quickly. Yeah, I mean, yo, Tower. I gotta catch up. I'm not. I'm still not caught up to Tower of God. I had to take a break because like this week was so busy. I was so busy this week. Like man, you know what I mean? I was doing so much. I was doing so much. Like I was, oh, you know, and it was cool, but it was just like it was a lot. Like I was exhausted, you know. And I need to get to bed soon. I gotta feed my cats because they're probably hungry. All right. But I was just tired. You know what I mean? So I couldn't really read like manga in the way that I wanted to. Like I just didn't have the time. I didn't have the time. Like at all. Like Monday through Friday, no time. Not really. Ugh. Aye. All right. But I look, I'm gonna say this. Like, if you haven't read this or started or whatever, read it. Read it. Start reading. Don't spoil me, obviously, but start reading. Start reading it. It's so good. All right? You got it. It's so good. Really. And this is and like just kind of going through. And this is like, okay, I wanted to say this. Like this is I'm saying this because like I think this is what I like. This is what I kind of like believe. Like it's not that you can't, right? Like you can read stuff, you can enjoy stuff, you can enjoy certain manga, you can do that. But I think that like you've got to listen, like not listen, but like listen to music, but like right. I mean, it's the same with music, but like I think with manga, you've got to try things not necessarily that you're not accustomed to, but like you gotta read more, you gotta read different things. Like I think for me, one thing I can understand that if you're saying like, oh, maybe I can't because like I can only focus on a manga at a time, whatever. But I'm like, bro, like if you decide to start One Piece, you're gonna spend a lot of time like not reading other manga. Like so I understand like saying like, hey, I can only focus on something for like a delegate like a certain like one manga at a time. But I think like if you at least, like if you read a lot of manga at once, you read different manga. Like read different manga. Like diversify your portfolio. Again, I've said that. Diversify your portfolio. Okay? You've got to do that. You got to do that. Why? Because when you throw out opinions talking about, oh, this is the best manga out, man. Come on, ain't nothing touching One Piece. I'm like, bruh. When you throw out opinions like that, that tells me that you either like usually what it tells me is like you generally read like a lot of manga that are very similar to One Piece, or maybe if you say One Piece is your personal favorite, hey, that's your personal favorite, that's fine. But when you're talking about like some people are really out here talking about objectively, One Piece is the only manga that's done these things, and One Piece is the only manga that like is this like diverse and da da da. I'm like, stop. You know what I mean? It's with other manga too. It's not just One Piece. All right, it's not just One Piece. Okay, other manga, it is with other manga too. All right, and for me, it's just like, come on. Like I read Battle Angel Alita, and I was like, I'm a react to One Piece 921, and then I'm going right back to this other manga that I'm reading. I'm going right back to Battle Angel Alita. I'm going right back to Tokyo Tadaraba Girls. I'm going right back to what's some other manga that I'm reading? What was it? I can't remember what it was called, but like I'll do it tomorrow or something like that. I can't remember. It's this manga about like a person that's like is just really kind of lazy and doesn't and is like kind of dejected and just decides like, hey, I'm gonna become a manga just like to do that. You know what I mean? And it's like it's just funny and it's interesting and I like it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go back to like those manga that I'm reading. I'm gonna go back to the stuff that people have suggested me. I'm gonna go back to The Girl from the Other Side. I'm gonna go back to those manga because like those are manga that I think are great and they're dope and they do things and it's consistent in that and it doesn't feel like a chore. Like, and I feel like those manga in a lot of ways are just for me, like, right, I just enjoy them a lot more. That's how I feel about it. But like people gotta read more manga, gotta read different types of manga. They gotta diversify, right? They need to. Really, 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 truly. And it's not to say like, if you've only read like this number of manga, you're trash. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you are fine with limiting yourselves to like a particular like genre and that's it, and you're like and then you want to go on talking about like there's not really anything there that like would catch my eye. Like you need to let people convince you. You need to let people have conversations with you, and you need to let people convince you like you should read this stuff. All right, you should read that stuff. You should read blah blah blah. Okay, let them. Let people help you. Let people in. Okay, let people suggest Battle Angel Alita to you. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just, Yeah, even when it comes to shonen, they're better stuff. And like people are just like they are just like stuff. And the thing is like, if you like okay, so let's say like someone like Naya, right? Naya is like an admitted One Piece stan. But Naya also doesn't let his love of One Piece, right? He doesn't let that get in the way of him like appreciating other manga and reading as many different types of manga and comics as he possibly can, right? That's why I can have conversations with Naya in a way that I can't have conversations with some other people. Because like there are some other people that will like, they will willfully stop themselves from reading something because they're like, oh, I don't know, I might have something that I'm not really like, that I don't know. And it's just like ridiculous stuff, So for me, it's like, you gotta let people give you suggestions and you have to try. Like you gotta try because if you don't, like you limit yourself. And like people going all around talking about, I'm not gonna limit myself, but then they go right into reading the manga and they limit themselves, either unconsciously or overtly. You know what I mean? People are like, oh yeah, key facts, right? And facts, DJ, like right, like there are better stuff like even when it comes to shonen. Facts, Amadou, right? You can't just read like slice of life or fighting manga. And in particular, right, it's like you can't just stick to a particular demographic, right? Like you can't just stick to the shonen demographic. That's going to really limit you. All right. Same thing with shonen. Like you can't just stick to the shonen demographic. That's going to limit you. You can't just stick to the seinen demographic or the josei demographic. And like even within those demographics, right, there are different types. You can't stick to those particular types. So that's why some people let people give you suggestions. Try the suggestions, please, for your own good. All right. In fact, like this idea that if it was good, it would be mainstream. No. Some of y'all just again, that's just to me like that's willful ignorance because you're like you don't even know about like you don't really understand how like the advertising for certain manga work, what mangas like if a manga gets published in a particular like magazine or publisher company or whatever, like that immediately gives it a particular like visibility, and like that visibility really matters. You know what I mean? It's like there's a reason why like The Promised Neverland is as popular as it is like right now, and why like certain other manga, if they're published in like Weekly Shonen magazine or something like that, aren't going to be as popular. Okay, you know what I mean? It takes like a certain bit of like publicity and like, and also like I think especially in the West, a lot of it comes down to like what scanlators, certain scanlators, right? Popular scanlators are publishing. So if Manga Stream is like one of the biggest like scanlation uh, groups out. So whatever it is, like if they put out a particular thing in the West, that's gonna get a lot more traction than if like random like no name scan later B puts out a dope manga, but it's in random scan later like group B. You know what I mean? So it's like people like willfully ignore that stuff, and it just bothers me because it's like really like when you say, oh well, would have been made if it was that good, it should be popular. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? Like listen to yourself speak, listen to yourself speak, and then come back with like a better like point. You know what I mean? Just nonsense. All right. Yeah, and like mainstream content does that. Like mainstream content really does that. It again, like key, like what you're saying, right? Like it deludes readers into thinking there isn't better content out there. Like it really does. And it's not to say that like all mainstream content is trash or anything like that, but this is like a byproduct of like mainstream like manga, right? It takes up this space. It's larger than like life in a way. It has this like just immense uh visibility, and that like pushes like other manga kind of like to the side in a way, and people just are like, oh, I'm not really interested. That's not to say that there aren't there, right? And it's not to say that there aren't people that read all of these things. I'm not talking about those people. If those, right, the Naya's out there, the Keys out there, the Michaels out there, the Baxters out there, you know what I mean, the Amadou's out there, the BNAG and BS, like I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry, but you know who you are, okay? All y'all out there that read the different DJs, right? Like out there that read different things. You know what I mean? Um, this is like what like we do, right? But like the people that don't, people that are like very much so just kind of like content with not like right. There's a difference between like being content with just reading certain things and moving to like not only am I content with just reading this stuff, but I'm gonna let that inform the way I sort of format my opinion about like manga in general. And I mean like, oh, shonen manga is the best. Like, but you like if you admit that like you're content with just shonen, like just reading shonen manga, how you gonna say that shonen manga is the best? You haven't read the other stuff. So it's stuff like that that's like it's just like it's okay. So all right. I'm not gonna get into the boys love girls love stuff because like I love all of that stuff. And actually recently bought a boys love manga that I really wanna read soon. But I can't remember. I think it's called like What I Did Yesterday, something like that. Let me see. Oh, it's What Did You Eat Yesterday? Yeah, yeah. And I want to read that. Like I really want to check that out. So there's like stuff. There's like stuff that I think you have to give certain like mangas that like a chance, and you got to check it out. And like I think it's just like it just sucks when you say like, you know what, I'm not going to read that at all. Especially if it's not something that like had like that isn't like if it's not like explicit, right? Especially if it's like not like super like explicit or anything like that. I think you should give yourself the opportunity to read it. You know, but that's just me. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end the stream here. But boys, all that stuff is dope. Boys and Girls is great. There's a lot of great stuff out there. Bloom Into You, um, Go for It Nakamura. What else? What else? Yeah, I'm trying to think of some others that I really really liked. I'm like, I don't know why I'm drawing like a blank. But there's some really good ones. I'm gonna set up a list. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up a list for like the boys and girls love like manga that I really really like. And I'll set up a list for it. But also like if I just suggest some, Limit to You, go for it, Nakamura. I read a little bit of what did I eat what did I eat yesterday, and I liked it. I really liked it. So I suggest that I think a bit. But there's some really good ones. Man, I'm trying to. There was one like Girls Love the Manga that I read really recently, besides Boom 2, that I really, really liked. I don't know what it was, but I really liked it. Damn. Okay, but it's like you gotta read that stuff. You gotta try to be into it if you can. And if you can't, I'm not gonna push you. I'm gonna move on. All right. But I gotta get out of here because Reference is dope. Reference is really good. Really good. Okay. I gotta get out of here, all right? Because I gotta go to bed because I'm tired and I gotta feed my cats. All right. So let me go. Thank y'all for coming through. All right. This stream is like 1:35. And I don't want the streams to be like too long, but if they do end up being like long, then they end up being long. But I think like this, it's a good amount of time. All right. So thank y'all for coming through. This stream was really, really, really dope. I always love doing this. I'm gonna do it again probably next Saturday. All right. Along with Battle Girl. I keep saying Battle Girl Alita, but like Battle Angel Alita. All right. I'm gonna do part 2 of the Battle Angel Alita readathon. Sorry, my cat's just like meowing because she's hungry. Come on, Mina. Okay. And I'm gonna react to it. All right, I'm gonna react to that, the last 3 chapters of the first volume, and then get to my manga music stream. So I'm gonna do the manga music stream every week, and Battle Angel Alita. Like I need to make sure that once I do that stream, that part 2 stream next week, and finish volume 1, I gotta make sure that I have like enough money to like buy the volume and not have like issues or anything like that. All right, so thank you for coming through. Tomorrow, I just have like a lot of like work to do, so I got to get that done. So I'm not sure if I'm going to stream tomorrow, but I might. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Thank y'all for coming through. This is a dope stream. It always makes me happy. It gives me a certain amount of energy. It makes me like, it makes moving in this world just like easier to know that people like y'all are out here just, being great. I get to chop it up with y'all and everything. It's good. It's good. Good times. All right. So I'm the Black Manga Critic. This is part 3 of the manga music stream series. All right. Come through for part 4 next Saturday, probably around the same time. All right. And we out here, man. All right. We out here. If there's 2 volumes and 1 deluxe edition, I'll see if I can get that like for volume for 2 and 3. If it's like that, I'll see if I can grab that. All right. No problem. Shout out to you, Key, Michael, Amadou, BNAG, and BAS. I'm just gonna keep spelling until I figure out how to pronounce it. Okay, but shout out to you. Who else came through? DJ, of course. Shout out to DJ. I think the Heart came through. Yeah, shout out to the Heart. All right. Kenneth York. Okay. Sunset. Shout out to you, Sunset. Okay. And let me get out of here. All right. I'm the Black Manga Critic. Thank y'all for coming through, y'all. And I'm out ya.